Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another video. I've actually had a lot of questions about my avocado seeds ever since I did an update video for the fish room and people were able to see them. So I want to go into a little bit more detail and answer some of your questions directly on a video instead of just sending messages. So these guys have actually been growing for quite a while. This one right here has been growing for about 6 to 7 months now, and that one has only been growing for about 2 months. And if you look at their growth, they're very similar. And I think that has to do with the time that I set them up. This guy was set up towards the fall and early winter, while that guy was closer to spring. I don't know if that actually has a huge impact or anything on it, but I did notice as the spring came around that instead of being their plateau stage where it was just a cracked seed with that little sprout right there, they actually sprouted more and just kept growing. I did not change anything, but they did grow a lot faster. So to start off this project, what we have to do is actually go to the store and buy some avocados. It doesn't matter which kind you get, because any of them will actually sprout. Once you do that, you're going to have to cut it out, get the seed, and you want to wash off any of the edible part from the avocado. Now the reason you have to do that is that part, the avocado part, once it's sitting in the water, will start to rot. And it will create a fungus over the actual seed. And you don't want that because it'll pretty much kill your seeds, and it won't sprout like this. Once you do that and you clean it all off, you're going to have to identify which part is the top of the seed, and you can easily tell that by being the pointier side. So if you look at it, this has a point right there instead of being completely flat. I'll actually pull this one out of the water because it's easier to set up. I have a lock balancing that guy right there just because the toothpicks fell off, but I'll show you what the root systems look like in a few minutes. Once you clean it off and figure out what part is the side, you're going to stick 3 toothpicks in it, but you want to do them at an angle, very slight angle, just like this, so that the seed sits, majority of the seed sits in the water with that pointy side out of the water. I've seen videos where people will peel off that skin, so if you look very closely, there's the white part towards the top and on the inside, and then there's that brown cracked skin on the outside. A lot of people actually peel those off to make it easier for the seeds to sprout. I didn't actually do that. I just kept it on for both of these. Future examples and experiments, I'll actually peel them off and see if there's any difference with that. Once you do that, you're just going to put them in the water and let them sit there. At this point, it's just going to be a waiting game. I've waited quite a while and I wanted to give up on these, but I just kept going, and I'm glad I didn't because they sprouted really well. Once they sprout, you won't even see the top of it. It usually sprouts down into the water first, and it's a pretty long root straight out, just like this, straight into the water. After some time, you'll start getting a complex root system, just like this. And so if you look at this back one, they first start off as white, and then they'll start darkening up. Once they darken up, they're actually pretty strong, and they'll be able to support the seed in there without the toothpicks. The toothpicks did rot and fall off, so I only have one left. At this point, they can pretty much support themselves in there. Water-wise, what I was doing was changing the water once a week. I would dump out this water, clean out the cup, and put the seed back in, as long as it wasn't sprouted, so I wouldn't damage any of the root systems. To get mine to grow faster, what I was doing is I was using my aquarium water. If you guys are into aquariums, definitely check out my channel and subscribe. But what I was doing is using aquarium water, since it has nitrates, and then using a turkey baster to water them directly on top. I think by doing that, I kept wetting the skin that it had on top, and it aided in it being able to crack and come out faster when it sprouted. That might have been what helped my seeds instead of just peeling that skin right off. So, like I've said, these guys have been growing for a pretty decent amount of time, and I've been preparing to move them into soil now. So what I did is I went out, see if I can grab these because they're stuck on each other. I went out and bought 2 pots. These guys are about 10 inches wide. And I bought some organic peat moss. I also ordered regular potting soil, but I haven't received that yet, so I have to wait on that. And what you want to do is mix the peat moss and the regular potting soil at a 1-to-1% ratio. So whatever you use in peat moss, you want to mix it with regular potting soil, and then you'll plant the avocado seed in there. I haven't gotten to that stage yet, so there will be another upcoming video once we get to that part. But this is what I've gotten so far, and I actually think it's a pretty good accomplishment. It looked a lot harder than it should have been, But the majority of this was just a waiting game. And again, I think it had to do with the time of year that I planted them. I feel like if I started another one now, it would go a lot faster, and I actually might do that as an experiment. I'm always up for experiments, so this would be pretty interesting to do. Again, I also did use aquarium water that had nitrates in it, so it did feed the seeds. They should be going off of whatever stored nutrients are in the actual seed. That's what the sprout should be using. But I don't really know if the aquarium water really made a difference. So in a future video, what I might do is actually do a comparison with just regular tap water, because that's what most people will be using. So this is how to grow an avocado seed. Pretty much how to sprout it at this point. And I'll keep everyone updated as these continue to grow and the leaves start to get bigger. Alright guys, thanks for checking it out. If you're new to the channel and this is one of the first videos you've ever seen on home aquatics, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment, and a like to help the channel grow. And if you're returning, definitely comment below. I usually respond to almost everyone. Thanks guys, and have a good one.